Some of the comments on my most recent videos I want to address, and that is that, you know, people in South Africa are saying, European, go home, go back to your own country. You have nothing to do with Africa. Well, I'm going to beg to differ with that one. And I'll tell you where the roots are that join us together. The most wise man that has ever lived is King Solomon. That's what the stories say. King Solomon was the Yahwehist who wrote the first version of the Old Testament. He is the author of the Psalms and the songs in the Old Testament. And it is King Solomon who joins our two cultures together. King Solomon befriended two people, the Queen of Sheba, Makeda, and Homer. He passed on his wisdom to the Queen of Sheba and to Homer. And this wisdom spread through those societies. The Ionian culture, which went from Homer to Socrates, thrived with the wisdom that they received from King Solomon. But it was put to an end with the death of Socrates, and the pagan cultures, the barbaric ruling cultures, overpowering the wise minority. Like the Romans, like the Spartans. And the same thing happened to the kingdom of Saba. In the 6th century, they were also overcome by barbarians. And this is why I'd say in my previous videos that Africa should look for its ancient wisdom, because there's a rich wealth of ancient wisdom that was given by King Solomon to Africa. And that's what you should search for. And I hope we can find ourselves there in that point in history where we both share those roots of wisdom that was brought to us through one of the most important prophets, and that is King Solomon, who gave us the original Bible. Unfortunately, the priests and the rulers have twisted that message over time and turned it into a tool to oppress many cultures, including South Africa. So we need to break away from that imprisonment and go back to the wisdom that existed. You know, there's a very important image that I wanted to share with you, and it's displayed in Rome, and it's the Romans sacking King Solomon's temple and bringing back the plunders of that sacking. Well, in that image, you see the Romans stealing our heritage, stealing the family tree that Solomon had created for us, which shows the 3 tribes of heaven, the 3 houses of heaven that join us all together. So think about that. It is the Romans who stole it from us, and we need to take it back. Both the Europeans need to take it back, and the Africans need to take back our heritage, our wise heritage, and find a different path forward. Not a path of oppression or of fighting, but a path of reconciliation, a path of caring for each other, and a path of one love and one family. You know, this message has been sung by Bob Marley. It's been sung by many different musicians of one love, one family. But what does that really mean? You know, it means that we are all God's children. And so many Christians will have told me, well, I'm God's child, but you're not. And I ask, well, whose child am I if I'm not God's child? But the point is that we are all God's children. And we all have our path in life. We all have our burdens that we carry. We all have our talents that we carry. And our mission in life is to lay down our burdens and to sharpen our talents and use those talents for the good of humanity. So let's look for solutions that can take us forward, and hopefully those in power need to start accepting their role in this oppression and start working with the oppressed to find equitable solutions for everybody.